He found a big tree, waved his arm, and punched the tree. "You are injured. HP -2, the system displayed. Gary was puzzled by this. Obviously, the system was more complicated than he imagined. Gary decided to go home first before it got dark, and his mother feared for his safety. The night vision he gained allowed him to move freely through the jungle, and it didn't take long for him to emerge from the forest. Then he jogs home. When he got home, Gary was surprised to find that his breathing had not accelerated at all, and his heart rate had even dropped. At the same time, when his mother was warming up meals for him, he also found that he didn't feel hungry at all. In addition, he found that his injured hand healed quickly. Eat more meat to restore energy. When idle, energy points will be used to restore HP, the system interface reminded. Gary thought, I can be more sure that I am an Aldred. The SMS notification from the phone interrupted his thoughts. Asshole, I'm going to kill you. Where are you? Answer now. You have until today to come back with the item. Looking at the text message notification he received, Gary couldn't help it, but his body began to tremble. He knew how the gang would deal with him, but now he has nothing to do about it.
Gary, are you in trouble?
The sister noticed his mood change.
Nothing. Tom must be playing a trick on me. Don't worry,
Gary replied. Fortunately, Gary gave the gang a fake address at the time, but if they found out, what would the mother and sister do?
Of course, unless the person who attacked them was a mutant,
said a female voice. The two policemen looked toward the voice and found that the woman was not wearing a police uniform. The badge on the left chest clearly identifies who she is, a member of the White Rose.
Listen, this crime scene can only be done with a changer.
She scolded the officers.
From now on, the two of us will take over this investigation. I hope you will support us. It is your duty,
the woman told police. With the appearance of Altered, the police's simple guns wouldn't do much when faced with an Aldred. The government decided to combat fire with fire. The Aldred Investigation Force was established, more commonly known as a White Rose. When Gary woke up the next day, he found himself attracted by a strange smell. Like a dog, he unconsciously sniffed the air with his nose. Following the smell, he came to the refrigerator. After opening the refrigerator, he found a piece of bloody steak. Before he knew it, his hand had grabbed the piece of meat. Just as he was putting the meat to his mouth, his sister stopped him.
Hey, what are you doing?
Well, Gary reacted suddenly, and after saying sorry, he went to the table to eat a sandwich for breakfast. While eating breakfast, the TV broadcast today's news. Police found 3 dead bodies at construction site. A reward is offered for any real evidence. After hearing the news, Gary didn't want to listen anymore. Now even the police are chasing me. Gary went to school in a nervous mood that day, and any trouble on the road made him nervous. A scream sounded. Gary discovered the screams were coming from a nearby alley. A girl was surrounded by 4 men in an alley, and just as Gary was hesitating whether to step forward to help, a notice appeared in front of him. New mission received. Save the girl. Is this my new mission? But I haven't discovered my competitive skills yet, Gary thought. Just as soon as he was thinking this, he heard the girl's cry again. Gary knew he didn't have time to think about what to do next. The only thing he could do now was to try. Gary went into the alley to try to fight the thugs, and he landed what he thought was the perfect punch, but it only hit the air. One of the gangsters grabbed Gary's head and punched him. Gary fell to the ground in pain, but he managed to attract the attention of the gangsters, and the girl took the opportunity to escape from the other side of the alley. Mission completed. Receive 40 XP. Although the task is completed, Gary is doubting whether he can get out alive. After the girl escaped, she immediately went to the police for help. When she returned to the alley 2 minutes later, she only saw those gangsters lying on the ground clutching their stomachs. Where was that boy just now? Did he do it? When Gary went back to school, his hands were still shaking. He no longer remembers what just happened now. He only knows that he sprinted to school. After class, the teacher introduced the new female classmate to the students. Gary watched her, his heart beating faster, and he heard a slight creaking sound from under the table. Looking down, he saw his hands gripping the table tightly. And to make matters worse, his thumbnail had grown so large that it pierced through the wooden table. Gary tried to calm himself. He left the classroom and found a quiet place where no one was around. And his friend Tom noticed his abnormality. When he looked at Gary's table, he noticed something strange. The wood on both ends of the table had been destroyed. It looks like someone did it with their bare hands and grip alone. But that's impossible, at least for humans. After Gary calmed down, he began to worry that the gang would make trouble for him, so he went to find the person who introduced him to the gang, Kai. Gary went to the rooftop after school, because that's where Kai often went. When Gary walked up to the roof, he was surprised to find that Kai was also watching him, as if he knew that Gary would come to him.